on the lines, and it's brought to us by Gold Spike Legal. And we have with us today Mr. Russ Colling and Michael Smith from Gold Spike Legal. What's up, guys?
It's great to be here.
Well, it's finally glad to have you guys on here. It's a big sports weekend, a lot of things going on, but I want to tackle a couple of things as far as the business world is concerned, and it's something that we were talking about, Russ, which you brought to my attention, and it's Phil Mickelson and this inside trader scenario that he's going through, that he's not being pursued for as far as legal ramifications. Why isn't he?
He's not, because they haven't they've started the investigation and they indicted a couple people, but they haven't indicted Phil because they've determined, the SEC has determined that he wasn't involved in the trade, in the knowledge of the inside information. He received the information, but he didn't know that it was inside. At least that's what
he's running
theory.
with.
Yeah.
Well, I read the article and it looks like a friend gave him a phone call. He took the advice. He had never made any investments in this company ever before. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't that the same scenario we had with Martha Stewart? Isn't that what she went to jail for?
Yeah, and some of hers was a little different because she had actual knowledge, and then made the trades. With Phil, he had a relationship, and a lot, being here in Vegas, a lot of us know that Phil's got a very
he likes to gamble.
for
Say it.
gambling. Yeah,
say it. We don't get sued here.
He likes that, and he became friends with Billy Walters, who's a big time sports gambler here, a very, very successful gambler.
Right.
And Phil got into some debt with him, and he was the one that provided Phil with the information, allegedly. I know Billy's been indicted, he's been charged, but he's not been convicted of anything, so we don't know for sure what happened. And a lot of people with Phil Mickelson are assuming he's guilty, or he knew, because he's given back the money that he won. It was close to $1 million that he got based off the trades. What a lot of people don't realize is when there's SEC violations and insider trading, whether you're guilty or not and you receive that money, whether you knew, whether you didn't, you have to, the SEC requires that money is returned, is given back. And
that
some of the reasons for that is because it's not technically your money. It's stuff that if that information was available to the public, either the person that sold the shares, if they knew that information, they may not have sold those shares, or somebody else out in the public that would have information, that same information that you had, may have purchased those shares. And so the SEC requires that money is turned back. Whether you're guilty or not, you have to give that money back, because it's really not yours. It was used with fraudulent or
you just can't go out and blow it and say, oh my God, I spent it already, I can't give it back.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work like payday around here for us. All my money is gone.
You got to get it back next month. You got to get it back next commission. All right, on another note, Deflategate, guys. We've run this thing up so many flagpoles. It's been appealed. It's been overturned. It's been overturned like a summer mattress. Where do the ramifications end on this thing as far as exhaustion on Tom Brady's part? We now have the Patriots that have intervened, and there's some type of loophole that they're trying to inject into this case, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That is correct.
And so just explain that a little bit. What's going on there now?
Well, it's interesting because a lot of people want to relate it to Deflategate and say it was just somebody letting some air out of some footballs. What's the big deal here? And with the appeal, it's actually not at all about the facts of whether Tom Brady was involved in deflating footballs or whether he wasn't. It's more about the collective bargaining agreement and the power that Commissioner Goodell has, and trying to figure out exactly what part of the collective bargaining agreement Tom Brady violated. Tom Brady and his team and the Patriots are alleging it was simply it was a violation of tampering with the footballs and different things, and the penalty for that under the collective bargaining agreement is a $25,000 fine and nothing else. The Roger Goodell and the league are saying that it was conduct detrimental to the league because of his actions and some of the lies or mistruths or destroying the cell phone or not cooperating. And they're looking at it under that. And under Article 46 of the collective bargaining agreement, Roger Goodell has the power to impose any punishment he wants.
That's what I thought.
And under that, that's where the NFLPA is coming in and saying, we've got to make some changes here. Roger Goodell can't have this much power. And so that's more of what this appeal and what the argument is now is what is the actual punishment based on, if it was collectively bargained, and whether Goodell should have the power to, without really completing a full investigation, decide without any prior history of what punishments are going to be given out and who's going to receive those punishments.
Now, in just y'all's opinion, do you think Commissioner Goodell overstepped his boundaries? Do you think he superseded the collective bargaining agreement?
I absolutely do. And some of it is based on, they did it's Roger Goodell's information was based on Ted Wells' report.
Right.
Ted Wells used two sources in completing his report that have not been collectively bargained. And so there's some questions there. Tom Brady wasn't allowed to review all the evidence, talk to all the witnesses, and so some of that makes it look like he did overstep a little bit. But he does have the power, and that's the rub is the players and the teams.
They voted on it.
They voted on it, and they gave him that power.
Right, and that's why I disagree with Russell here is because they did give him the power. Roger Goodell found himself in a very untenable position because he has to do something. The Super Bowl champions have been alleged to have cheated their way to the Super Bowl.
Right.
He had to do something. Whether or not he did what we would have done, we don't know all the facts, but I felt like he had to do something, and he had to do something severe to get the message across, to basically send a message to not only Tom Brady but to all the players.
The league as a whole. We're talking to the legal experts over at Gold Spike Legal, Russ Collin and Michael Smith. So, no, I agree with you, Mike, that this is you voted on it. This is your situation. This is your bed. Lie in it and deal with it. Now, if you want to do something after the fact down the road, put in the necessary paperwork. Let's vote on it again, correct?
That's my opinion.
Yeah. So
it's a learning process for people all around. I mean, this isn't this was a very new situation all the players found themselves in. So
right. Well, let's we got a couple minutes left here in the show. Let's talk about Peyton Manning. The story that's, Peyton's kind of retired now. He's moving on, but people are like, well, he denied the allegations from Al Jazeera saying that he had took or received HGH, it helped in his performance, whatever. But, so everyone expected him to just sue, just like Ryan Howard and Jordan Zimmerman? Ryan
Zimmerman.
Okay, there you go, Ryan Zimmerman. Why hasn't Peyton Manning stepped up and put his weight behind that lawsuit?
Well, it's interesting that you bring up those two players that they have filed suit. One of the strategies that Peyton could be ensuing is sitting back, letting Ryan Howard and Ryan Zimmerman do a lot of the legwork, and then he gets to jump in at the end, and if their cases either celebrate with them or he gets to see if those cases ultimately get dismissed, he gets to see the processes they took and then bring a different angle. And try and get his case to move forward where theirs got dismissed. If they're looking like they're going to win, he just jumps in, uses their same strategy, and
just like he did with the Broncos.
That's
he just jumps in, he collects
exactly
a trophy,
right.
He runs off.
It's what he does best. He says, I know how to piggyback. It's one thing I do. I can get on a champion's back. All right, well, guys, I appreciate you coming on the show. This is something we're going to be doing on a regular basis. That's Gold Spike Legal. How does anyone get in touch with you guys?
They can reach us on the web at www.goldspikelegal.com, or they can reach us by phone at 702-900-4529.
All right. Now, something totally off the cuff. We're going to talk a little sports real quick. We about have a minute or so left. Who do you guys have over the weekend in these games? First tonight, Cleveland Raptors.
I've got Cleveland.
Cleveland going?
Sure. I agree.
Okay.
Right.
And Golden State, can they pull one out, or OKC?
That one's a tough one with the way they played. I think Golden State. I think they're just tired. I think going for the record this year I think it took it out of them. I think OKC is gonna take it.
What do you think, Sabrina?
I've got Golden State. I think Steph Curry is my man, and I'm standing behind him.
Oh, my goodness. She has a team, ladies and gentlemen.
Patsy.
Sabrina's a winner. Like we told her, she's going for winners. You got to love
Like
America.
Patsy Cline,
Patsy
standing by
Cline.
her man. There you go.
Well, guys, we appreciate you coming out. We're going to have you back on next week. We'll talk. I'm sure something's going to happen, something legal. It's on the line, the business look at sports. Russ Colling, Michael Smith, appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us.
All right, guys, it's another weekend. Man, tonight, what's going on for you tonight, Jay?
I am going to do the old thing and sleep.
Well, you know what? That's a good thing. You know, we have another radio show tomorrow morning, guys, if you don't know. What about yourself?
I'm going to be at Netflix and chill, but by myself.
With her
Never
kid.
mind.
With her
Early
kid.
morning show, which I would like to have Bloody Marys. Can we please have some Bloody Marys? in the
That's
show
right.
tomorrow?
We'll have to go to Shucks. We'll have to work something out with Shucks. We can go get those early morning Bloody Marys. Hey, appreciate you guys tuning in. That's MP, Jeremy Long, Sabrina Chapman. Final Countdown, Fridays, 2 to 3 on NBC Sports 920 The Game. Fox Sports, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. On Saturdays and Sundays, it's the big fella ESPN from 8 to 9. Appreciate all that you guys do. Make sure you hit us up on Facebook, Instagram. I'm your guy, MP, and it's the Final Countdown.